I hope that every single time you just make up your own robot shape. All right. Welcome to another episode of That's What They Said, a podcast where we question the questionable lyrics of your favorite songs. Sarina&Scott, Spinelli, and today we talk Wyclef Jean, Gone Till November. Yes.
You waiting for me to say something?
I mean, I set it up and then, hey, here's Scott. You come into the show and everyone applauses. It's like the 90s.
Yeah. No, this song, I love this song. I love this record, the whole album. Yeah. I mean, I was a Wyclef guy because I was a big Fugees guy. I've learned, I remember I've joked with people that like one of my biggest heartbreaks was discovering that the Fugees broke up. I think they broke up in the score came out in 94. So they broke up, let's say 94, 5, 6, somewhere in that range. Right. And as a child, I could deal with the fact that rappers died because death made sense, even though I didn't understand it. But why would someone who's still alive not make great music anymore? Like that, I actually think The Score is the first album I ever bought. Do you know what yours was?
That's a good question. I don't, because my parents bought me a ton of like I had Michael Jackson records, like the records. And I don't know whenever I had the money to buy things, I think it was always a bootleg guy from Jerome or something. Like,
yeah.
There was a minute until my dad decided to take us to Tower Records, and that was a big deal. But
oh, sure, yeah.
We were allowed to get one record, and I was like, wow, this is like a legitimate one. But that's a good, maybe I'll answer that on another episode.
No, I appreciate you being so forth. Yeah, I was gonna say I appreciate you being so forthright here.
I was like, yeah, I can't lie. I feel like I didn't need any of that.
Yeah, that's really good stuff. People wanted to hear that you don't have an answer. I'll say on my end of it, I say all that to simply say that I remember when this album came out, being very excited for it as much as I could as a 9, 10-year-old, whatever, that was a fledgling rap fan. And this album has only gotten better to me, and his early work to me has only gotten better as I've gotten older. Like I've been able to appreciate it more. And this song is awesome. I love this song. Yeah.
I would love to have known the 11-year-old you you pick out all these songs that come out right around 1996 and 1997. Wherever you were, like, you need to go back to that.
Yeah, well, that's sort of a backhanded compliment, but you know what it honestly stems from? My older brother, he's not really that much into hip hop anymore, but he was really big into hip hop when I was younger. And the town I lived in when I was a kid was much more diverse. Which is to say that, it wasn't just white people in the town I grew up in, whereas the town I moved to in 5th grade was only white people pretty much.
That was the Abercrombie and Fitch days, yeah.
Exactly. And so in that first town, it wasn't weird. Everybody listened to hip hop and rap and R&B. Like, that's just what kids listen to. You know what I mean? Because their brothers listen to it, their sisters, their moms, dads, whatever. And so I was into it because I've always liked words, and that's, sort of like a words guy more than a pictures guy, I guess, or just like so anyway, yeah, I got into that because of him and that. And yeah, I would have, I can speak from experience though. It wasn't that fun to be around either then or now. So you didn't miss anything.
Oh, well, never mind. I take it back. Gone Till November is the 3rd single released from the Haitian rapper's debut solo album. This was his first solo album, The Carnival, and it came out in 1997. The song was released. Gone Till November was released November 25th, 1997, and it was number 7 on the Billboard Hot 100.
I can get behind. That's
the first one I think I'm like, okay.
Yeah, that tracks. Because
it's a slow song. It's not, but it has a good beat.
Yes. And there's 2 versions of it. I think we should get that out there right from the jump. There's 2 versions of this original. There's the sort of the one that was on the record with the New York Philharmonic in the background, right? Then there's the pop. That's the pop version, and then there's that's one version. Then there's another version that's the pop version that gets the music video. So I think a lot of people might know the music video better because that's the one that is a little bit more. They're very similar. It's honestly very hard to tell the difference if you're not paying attention. But yeah, there are 2 versions of them, and I always sort of get. I'm never quite sure. You're never quite sure which one is which until he gets to the first verse.
Which one do you like better?
They both appeal to me in different ways.
Okay.
It depends on what sort of mood I'm in, because it is a little poppier. Do you have a preference?
I like I lean towards the one that's in the music video because I watched the music video a ton. It was on like MTV, and It was filmed. Did you know this? It was filmed at LAX, at Los Angeles International, which is at the last airport I would want to record anything. But I guess LA, Hollywood, and they had
where they're there.
Production. But I mean, they made it look way more peaceful than it actually is on a regular day.
Fair point. Yeah, it's not. It didn't look nearly as hectic as it actually is. Look, I mean, you know, to me. Okay, so a couple of things about the music video. First, just the little nugget I discovered about why Bob Dylan's in the video, right? Because there's the lyric where he says, "Because I'm knocking on heaven's door like I'm Bob Dylan," like that whole lyric. He apparently was I mean, not that this isn't a particular surprise, but he was very influenced by Bob Dylan, and he had heard that Bob Dylan like wanted a copy of Wyclef's new album, and so as a result, he said, "What that would be if he's like interested in my music, it'd be like a super huge honor to have him in." And if you notice in the video, he's there for like a snippet. He shows up when the lyric comes in and he disappears as if it's almost like a dream that he was there in the first place. But I thought that was super dope that he just like, you know, pops in and pops out. I mean, a guy that big, you know, and Wyclef Jean to me, listen, he's not Bob Dylan. I'm not saying he's Bob Dylan, but like for a certain generation of people,
he's big. He's
huge, and he's been an influencer to a number of movements, to a number of and also the production that he's been involved in. He has Bob Dylan-esque qualities, I would say.
Yes, a well-respected, well-liked journeyman in the music industry.
Yes. Multiple types of music. Yeah. And multiple, like at this point now, multiple decades. I mean, we're talking, he still has, to be fair, to catch up to Dylan, probably 30 to 40 more years of producing quality music. So, and I'm not even a Dylan fan, but like, I understand that, like, I'm not saying he's Bob Dylan. I don't want to hear any hate on that, but I just, that you could see, I don't think it's insane. It's not like I'm saying like, you know, DaBaby is, you know, is him or some nonsense like this. You know what I mean? Like, that's not what we're saying. So anyway.
There's so many, there's Lil Baby, there's DaBaby, then there, I mean.
I thought those were two people for the one person for the longest time, and that I just didn't know the name, you know? Yeah. Lil DaBaby, you know,
right? Uzi.
or Da Lil Baby.
I'm like, you can't be baby. I mean, y'all all are babies, but that's here nor there. This song, glad the song that we picked it because basically, I mean, it is a deeper song. I mean, it's him going on a drug run.
Yes,
and he's going to be gone for a while, and that's basically the gist of the song. He's going to be gone until November.
That reminds me of the other thing I wanted to say about this video, which is that it is clear, and I don't think they needed to do this, but it's interesting that like, because you said it's at LAX, so it's like he's leaving somewhere.
Yes, yes.
But the video he is not, the whole point of the song, right, is that he is singing from the perspective of the drug dealer, as you said, right?
Yes, yes.
But the music video has almost nothing to do with that because like he has a
guitar.
He has a guitar backpack. He's clearly not running drugs. Like, and not that they need to, but that's I think, okay, that's my main takeaway. And I'm curious if you feel the same way, is that much like the song we did last week, Jamiroquai's Virtual Insanity. Yeah. This song has a similar thing where like, I was so young too, but like there's a dissonance between the sound of the song and what he's actually saying. And then combine that with the music video, and they're all not quite aligned, really.
Right, like they were trying to mask the fact that he was on a drug deal or going on a drug deal, and because it's a pretty sounding song,
absolutely.
And by no means do you associate pretty sounding with, "Hey, honey, I know you're crying. I'm going on a drug deal. I'll be back in however many months, or you may never see me again because I might die."
Or go to jail.
Go to jail. Not returning. Hopefully by November. I mean, at least he gives a date.
Hopefully by November.
That should have been the name. I'll be gone maybe around, we're looking at the target November. We don't give a year. We don't give a year.
If the song was written today, it would be called BYOB November. But yeah, you're absolutely right. Like it's the thing that I think about with this song, about like, you know, that he gave a date. It's funny you say that because like I was thinking, when is he leaving? Right? If he's leaving in mid-October, right? It's really not that big. You don't have to let me know that you're.
That song doesn't need to be sang.
It's not that big of a deal. Also, let's even just say he's leaving because he's making. It's got to be sometime in the calendar year, right? Even if it's like mid-April, that's a baseball season. You know what I mean? You're not like. I'm not saying anybody should want to go to prison or want to have to do a drug run where they're not, but they're away from their family for that long. But like worst case scenario, 6-7 months, you're back. You miss a season or two.
Right. And then as he alludes to, I'll have enough money to buy, out the Glocks, tell my brother go to school, and we can get to some of that because I have some things to say. But he's basically like, when I'm back, we're good to go. Like, I'm gonna have money. Like, I'm gonna take care of you.
Well, go ahead. Let's get into it now. Why not?
Okay. Well, okay. We're jumping around here, but yeah, when I come back, there will be no time on the clock. Like, basically alluding to, like, I just got to do this big run. I've seen a lot of drug shows and movies. Like, I'm watching Queen of the South right now, and
I don't even know what that is, but yeah, go ahead.
It's a Latino focused Mexican cartel show.
Okay.
It's really good. Anyway,
sure.
But all of these things, like, they're always like, yeah, I'm doing this to make the money, and then everything's gonna be fine.
Yeah.
And we kind of miss the fact that this is a dangerous freaking career. Like, he's like, I can't do a 9 to 5. Man, he could do some other things. Like, we don't work 9 to 5s. I mean, I know you need a college education for the jobs that we do, but
but that's frankly what he's commenting on, I think.
Right. Yeah. Like, this is what I need to do, but I don't,
or more one of the only things I can do.
Right. And that's all, if you're coming from a situation that's like, one, you don't have necessarily the institutionalized education to know you might have some other options. You're laughing at me.
I'm laughing not because you're 100% right. This is just the most serious we've ever gotten.
I know. Let's go back to the.
We're gonna start talking about educational inequalities.
Yeah, systematic inequality. Yeah, no.
I mean, I'm not laughing at educational inequality. I'm laughing at the idea of, like, this podcast. I just made a joke about BYOB.
And I went into systematic racism and inequality.
Did I say BYOB?
Yeah.
Is that what I said?
Yeah.
No, I should have said, oh man, I messed the joke up. It's not BYOB, it's BRB November.
Oh, BRB.
That's what I meant to say. That's why that joke made no sense.
I was like, yeah, bring
your own
beer to November. We'll celebrate.
I have to leave the whole thing in now. It's too hard to cut it.
You too. All right.
People who make it this far in will be like, oh, he got it. He knew he was.
Yeah. I get it now. I didn't get it, and they just keep listening.
Yep. Anyway, carry on.
But then, yeah, I mean, he has some requests that we can go into more of a jokey spin. Like, tell my brother to go to school in September. Tell my cousin Jerry to wear his condom. Like, you have a lot of requests. Like, you're leaving.
Jerry, by the way, his producer, Jerry Wanda.
Oh, that's a cool nugget. Good Denver nug.
Yeah, that's a Nikola Jokic level nug, I think. Not quite Jokic level, but it's it's Jamal Murray. It's Jamal Murray, I would say.
I mean, he's requesting things. He's trying to set himself up. I lost my train of thought from your Denver nug.
I mean, one of my favorite lines in this is, and I can't remember. I'll put the lyric in, obviously, but I don't remember which version it's in. But he says, "Hip hop turns to the future rock when I smash a pumpkin. Commit treason, then I'll have a reason to hunt you down. It's only right. It's rabbit season." That's such a good line. And it's also just anytime you can get in like a Looney Tunes reference basically in there.
A win.
That's an absolute dub for Wyclef. Yeah.
I think that's the one lyric that I caught maybe when I was a child. I was like, oh, kind of like this is a terrible comparison, but Nelly Furtado singing Game MVP like Steve Nash. I'm such a big Steve Nash fan.
See, I wasn't. I wasn't.
Mysterious girl. What was the name?
Mysterious girl. Yeah, that was. Yeah.
That was like the one line I was like, I can deliver this because Steve Nash is my guy.
I never really loved. There was one Freeway and Memphis Bleak song, I think with Carl Thomas on it as well. For all you heads out there, it's called Night Shift. And there's a Tim Duncan lyric, which I'll play there. and it's a good one. So do you have any other things you want to say about this lyric? Because the song lyrically, because I had other stuff I want to talk about with the remix. But
okay. Well, the last thing with the lyrics I'll say is just because it starts out like every time I make a run, girl, you turn around and cry. And I ask myself why, oh why. I'm like, that seems pretty straightforward. Like you shouldn't have to ask these why are you crying? Well, because you're leaving. I don't know if you're coming back. I got a lot of responsibilities to take care of.
I'm raising your kids, Wyclef.
Yes, there's so much. And now you're asking me to tell your brother to go to school, this dude to wear a condom. Like there's so many things you're leaving me with. I'm gonna cry.
That's a fantastic point.
That's the part that really stuck out to me. I'm like, man, I just turn around and cry and ask myself, what? You know why? Don't ask yourself these silly questions. Yeah. Figure it out. Why you think you crying for? Don't just that was it. Anyway, you can go to the remix now.
So are you familiar with the remix?
I should be. I should have listened to it because I know you're just a remix.
I'm a remix guy, but this remix is so good. So it's called the Makin' Runs remix. And it's got Cannabis and R. Kelly on it. And in a stunning move of foresight, Wyclef did not have R. Kelly in the video. Now, that may have been just a scheduling conflict, but it turns out that now the music video is evergreen because, Robert's not in it. So that's a good thing. And the other thing is that Destiny's Child makes a cameo in the video.
No way.
And that is something, honestly, a lot of the Denvers that I throw in there, the Nougats, every so often, a lot of them I've done just some research on. This one I caught myself because one day I was just watching the video. I don't want to get into what my life is like, that I have time to just casually watch these videos. However, I was watching it and it does like these like the two of them rapping back and forth.
He's single. That's what you're alluding to. You're single. You got time on your hands. Sorry.
That's exactly right. No, that's exactly right. Yeah. Yeah.
And he doesn't have Instagram, so you can't DM him when you see this either.
True. It's absolutely true.
Wow. Where are they in the all three? They're in the music?
I think they're all three, but at the very least, I caught Beyonce. And because there's like these quick scenes of the crowd and they're in it, but they're not featured. Like meaning they're, first of all, they're not featured in the song, although their vocals are in the song.
Okay.
But like if you watch the video and you'll see, I mean, I don't remember exactly what frame it's at, but they're in there and it's not like it's noticeable when you see them. You're like, oh, because I saw it, I paused them like, get the hell out of here. Is that Destiny's Child? But he did the remix, the No remix.
Oh.
Right, which is around the same time, and so there must have been something where he did that.
I'll throw you in my music video. Yeah,
I'm pretty sure he produced other songs for Destiny's Child, either on the Writing on the Wall album or otherwise. So he was involved with them at a early stage in their group. So that must have been why they were in the mix. Because I mean, sense. I'm not even sure if like putting them in the video was like, oh, this is such a dope move, because I don't even know how big they were. Because in my recollection of them, they went from, I know this is really what happened because obviously they put a lot of work into it, but they went from like, oh, I think I've heard of them to they're the biggest group in the world. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
They were enormous pretty quickly because that album had so many big hits on it. And then the next album and, et cetera, et cetera.
It's pretty impressive. Wyclef, you've dropped Bob Dylan, Beyonce, and who else did you drop? I mean, these are like big names to have in your remix, not even the main song. I mean, mind you, back then, Destiny Child wasn't as big, but still.
Cannabis was the other one.
I mean, pretty impressive.
And the other thing too is, again, people forget the Fugees are like a seminal rap group. I mean, most people of a certain age, that's how I know, by the way, you talk about dating. I'm 35. We're both 35 or 36, whatever. And like, I've dated people. I'm like, she might be a touch too young for me because she thinks that Lauryn Hill was famous because of Sister Act 2. And I'm like, it's
what?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. And in fairness, if a 7 or 8 years younger than us, you don't quite remember.
Oh, happy day.
She was good in that movie, right? I didn't see it, but I'm sure
she was. You should watch it. It was great.
But the album, I mean, those two albums they had, and specifically the last one. Anyway, the point is that he's had a whole lifetime of impressive shit, and that has nothing to do with this incredible group he was the linchpin of, along with the other. I mean, I think everyone knows that it was really him him and Lauren. No one. I've never met anybody that's like, my favorite member in the Fugees is Praz.
Right? Yeah.
Praz is fine, but like, come on,
You're not throwing. At least we know like more member. Again, I go back to Coldplay. I only know Chris Martin. I don't know. Do you know?
I think in rap groups it's different though.
Oh, you're right. They all
rapped.
You're right.
And you heard them, and they were distinct. Like it's not. I mean,
I just clearly want to talk about Coldplay. Chris Martin.
Yeah, every episode, more Coldplay.
I really appreciated his album with Jay-Z, Life is But a Beach Chair. Love that.
I didn't care for that. Yeah.
Well, maybe I'm going to put that on one of the songs.
I was just saying, if I see in our shared doc, if I see a Coldplay record on there, you got a new co-host. That's also that was a track, not a whole album.
I know, but I liked that song.
Oh yeah. But I'm saying that whole, I think that's one of his worst albums to me, Jay-Z. That was the one he did right before or right after he retired. I don't remember, but
then he came back.
Yeah, Kingdom Come. I think that was off Kingdom Come.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. That's a hard pass for me. But I mean, listen, it's a shared doc. You're allowed to put things in. I'm allowed to delete them as soon as they go in. I think that's
what else on the remix? I don't look at remixes unless they like come to me.
Well, no, this song again, I can't remember what the other one. Oh, like the Backstreet Boys and The Call. Yeah. It's a separate song. Okay.
It's okay.
It's a separate song and it's a very upbeat song.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And so it's the same lyrics, the same concept of a song, obviously, but it's called the Makin' Runs remix. But I'm not even like if there was some way to track, you remember like on how iTunes does how many times you played the song?
Yeah.
If there was some way to track throughout my whole life, like one of my good friends, my friend Joe, has this joke where when you die and you go to heaven, you get, or whatever, it doesn't matter. But when you die, you get your stats, right? And like you find out how many hours you logged on the phone, like how many times you listened to every song, how many times every Yankee game you went to, what their record was. You know what I mean? All those stats. You just get all of your stats.
That's pretty cool.
I love that idea. Exactly. And like, I can't wait to die just to get my stats.
You'd cut your stats short if you died sooner. I can't wait to get stats now.
I got to find out now how many chicken nuggets you had, whatever. The point of this is just that, that's it. Some of these numbers are going to be really traumatic, but hey, good news. You're dead already. So the point of this is that if I could get I would bet you that the amount of times I've listened to the remix is higher than the amount of times I've listened to the regular.
Okay. I believe that.
And when you're done with this and you go off and listen to it, you'll see what I mean. You'll either remember right away or you'll be like, oh, this is way more fun to listen to.
Makes sense. Mm-hmm. I think that's why I also, what did it say? It was like, it peaked at number 7. Mm-hmm. It obviously did really well internationally, but because the beat of this song is not as catchy, or I wouldn't say catchy, it's a catchy song. It was stuck in my head all day today. Thank you very much, because we were preparing for this. But to
be clear to all our listeners, both of us take off from work the full day to do this because it is so time consuming. The amount of content we're putting out for you is not something that we do in the 10 to 15 minutes before the taping. No, ma'am.
No. I will keep referencing the same songs in every podcast.
It's about time we get another Coldplay reference in. What do you think?
Nah. Anything else you'd like to say?
No, I don't. Yeah, I don't think I have much more. Yeah.
Wyclef, Gone to November. I'm glad we know. With January, February, March, April, May, very smooth to like deliver those months.
Much smoother than Ruben Stutter did, who I bring up in every episode.
Also wanted to say that. That's our final nug.
Hold on, no, I got one more. One more now. Hold on, sorry. I just thought I wrote some notes and I thought, has there ever been a more serious song that's more widely celebrated without everyone knowing what it's about?
I mean, we could go back to one of the other former, like older episodes, like the dude cheating on his girl and almost gonna get shot for it.
Yeah, but that was called It Wasn't Me, and everybody knew right off the bat.
I see that. Like no one knew that this song was about a drug run.
Yeah, because I think that there's a very plausible segment of the population that, frankly, didn't know this is. Probably still doesn't know it's about drug runs. Right. It could be about anything. What? Yeah, because in the regular version,
November, I mean, you could go on tour. I got my guitar. And I'm going to be back until November. You're right.
And if you just took it on surface level and you're not aware of that life at all, really, like, not that I'm like versed in it, but you know what I mean? I know
those Jersey streets. Well, some of the Jersey streets are
actually, yeah.
So,
but yeah, I mean, you could see how somebody's just like, oh, it's a song, it's an ode to men who, for whatever reason, have to go on the road to work.
Yeah.
Truckers or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, not that he wrote about truckers, but like, it's so not about that, obviously. But I just thought that was interesting, the difference there. But that's all.
It certainly makes me think about the month of November more. Like, he couldn't write. I mean, I guess he could have said, "I'll be gone till December," same sort of cadence, but couldn't do.
I would have loved that much more. I'm a December birthday guy, and so I would have loved it if the song was
came back for your birthday.
I'll be gone till
December. Happy
December
birthday, Scott.
6th.
I'm back. Right.
Yeah, I am. That the original title was, first it was BRB, not BYOB. BRB November, and then the other version was the Scott remix, BRB December 6th.
And that's it. Another episode in the books. We'll be gone till November, but actually just next week. You can catch this on YouTube. We also put a playlist together that you can find on Spotify, and it's called That's What They Said, because it's like the podcast. That's What They Said. Scott Spinelli, Sarina&Scott. Peace out, Cub Scouts.